Let's see, chat. We won't all in. I apologize for being late start. I tried to use Restream and other apps, and I'm still getting the message that my mobile hotspot is not supported the account um, that I have, which is absolutely not true. So here we are, and just waiting on some people to join. Um, let's see. I'll go ahead and get started with Play Well and Daily Gift are two mobile gaming apps that I have found that actually do pay out within moments. Literally, if you have a PayPal account, once you've connected it to the app, you will get your payout in less than a minute to your PayPal. It averages about $1.50 a day per game, which may not sound like a much, but a month it's about $66, $67, which I don't know about you guys, but for me, um, that pays my phone bill every month. But I found in a little tidbit, download a game a day. They're usually 3 or 4 most recent games are what they'll give you points just for opening every 24 hours on both of those. And if it's the same game on both, open it on Daily Gift first and then Play Well second. You can play one game and get credit on both apps for one game. Also, um, most of them that are the idle games or merge games or like farming games and such, you can leave it open to where stuff's happening on your screen and you put it on your charger and go to sleep and wake up and you've got 200 minutes. And if you're like me and you wake up every 2 or 3 hours having to go to the ladies' facility, uh, every 2 or 3 hours you can put it on a new game and you're actually earning money in your sleep. Doing that, I have been able to, from both apps, I average up my average to where it's like 250 a day. Both of them will say you can only do once every 24 hours, but I found it's every 2 to 4 hours. Actually, I think there's supposed to be a hyphen in it that you can put $1 on your account. I As long as you have an internet connection that's working above 2G, um, you can download and you earn per day just for downloading a new game. On the other one, it's about 30,000 points. It goes to points. You need 190,000 points on Play Well to get $1 on your PayPal. You need 1,000 tickets on Daily Gift to be able to get it. And it sounds like a lot, but in 2 hours, I've got my dollar. And then I can go on and do other stuff and just research Misplay, Benjamin, Free Cash. Don't even waste your time. They give you like 50 cents a day, and you're going to be on there 4 to 6 hours to earn that. I did it so you didn't have to. Uh, Recap, and this a lot of this is me expounding more, but it's kind of a recap of what I talked about in the live I did earlier, just testing to see if things will work. Let's see who's comment. Hey, Drew Crime and other stuff. Hey, I can talk to you now, by the way. I got my phone back on and I have service. I haven't been able to email anybody back or conversate really unless I was able to connect to one of the neighbors' Wi Fi. Restream, even with the mobile hotspot, Restream, StreamYard aren't working. So I'm gonna have to use the YouTube. We're gonna go back old fashioned the way the channel started. Um, uh, but and what I'm gonna do is I have pictures and after this live is the only way I to do this right now, and I'm working on a better way. But once this live is finished, you'll be able to go to, it's now called Post instead of the community tab, for those that don't know, on the YouTube. You'll be able to go there, and I'm going to upload pictures of what I'm talking about. Uh, One particular set of pictures and news articles was tied to uh, well, was from TikTok. I got off TikTok. There's one that I really wanted to show you guys, and we'll get into it. I'm getting out of sequence. My brain's going faster than my mouth, believe it or not. Anyway, Scott Roush from the Behavior Panel was on Fox News. I got some screenshots from that, some pictures that he had taken. Now, here's something I want to tell you guys. So, mom passed away 2 years and a month ago, and I tell you that because, hey, Mama Bear, whoop whoop. I tell you guys that because at least a year before she passed, my daughter and I were going out here, and these drone lights y'all seeing, we was seeing them every night between like around 10:15 p.m. until 4 a.m. every night, same place in the sky, same kind of lights, the red, yellow, green. Now, here's something I found out with research. I'm going to ask y'all. Y'all saw news conferences repeatedly where our government was telling us that, hey, it's not ours. It's not a foreign government. It's not alien. We don't know what it is and where it's from, but you're in no danger. Okay, so let's say that's the doctor went to. Okay, and you've got a foreign object inside your body. They didn't put it there. You didn't put it there. They don't know what it is, but there's no danger from it. Does that make sense? No, that don't make sense. God gave a chicken. And if you hear and you expect political correctness, I suggest you just log out and turn to the next page because you ain't going to get that here. I'm going to tell you what I really think. I'm not going to edit my words. I'm tired of that. I'm not going to patronize, play up to nobody. I'm going to keep it 100. And for those of you that's been here since the beginning, I wish Miss Rhonda was here right now. Uh, Y'all know that's where I began, and that's where I'm coming back to. It's took time to get back to myself, but I'm here. Um, Not gonna speak about personal issues at the moment. If anybody wants to know something personal, y'all know how to email me and reach me. I will tell you, I am having issues with the social media accounts that are tied to the YouTube channel. If y'all are Facebook messaging me on the Nita's World Facebook, it's not that I can't get into it. It's I'm limited on mobile hotspot data, and I can't get into that. Um, I've been on the phone since the 7th when I paid my bill with Straight Talk, and wires crossed in their system. Long story short, my old plan gave me 2 gigs of high speed data or 2 gigs of mobile hotspot data. When I hit 1.99 gigs, it cut me off, even though my new plan gives me 30. And it's telling me it's a capital, let's see, it's CAP. It's something that starts with a C, like capital authorization protocol that's missing. But anyway, so, alrighty. Thank you, True Crime. You guys, for goodness sakes, those of you that are in here, please hit the thumbs up. Please hit the subscribe. It's free. Go watch the um, I hang on to YouTube paycheck just to let everyone know. I can screenshot that and upload it from AdSense. Last one I got was in September 2024. I have like $83 because YouTube now takes 45% of every dollar that you donate through YouTube. So just bear that in mind. So when I got $40, it put 27 on my account. So I literally am at like I think it's right around $84, and you have to get 100 or more before they'll issue a check. I know True Crime and Mama Bear both know that to be true. Anyway, on with the program. So here's what I want y'all to remember while we're talking about these drones. These couple things I want y'all to keep in mind. Remember Helene. Remember the path of the storm. Remember how many of us believed that there was weather manipulation used. Remember that. Let me see who that is so I can say, hey, what's up, Miss Justice? I missed you. I missed everybody so much, and I'm just so glad to be able to say hey to you guys and let you know I am alive. After the 21st, I don't know where I'll be and what'll be going on, but hey, I'm trying to have a good outlook. If everything works out and this person will pay me the $10, $12 that they owe me, Friday night I'm going to rent a booth at the local flea market. I can rent a table for $10. I have to pay for it Friday night and be there at 7 a.m. on Saturday, and hopefully be able to sell some smaller items that I can easily get there, if that makes sense, no matter what my mode of transportation. And doing that, hopefully to make the money to pay the rest of the light bill. Had the house sold, and the mortgage company, in defiance of court orders, dragging their feet, and the buyer backed out. So I'm trying to find a new buyer right now. Almost at 50% off of tax value. So, and the clock's ticking. And if the clock ticks out, that means they get to take it, and I'm left with nothing. But hey, at least I'm healthy now. I'm over the viral pneumonia, the norovirus, and the flu. Lord knows I love little man, but school is a petri dish, you guys. But anyway, back to the story I wanted to talk about. Remember Helene. Remember the damage in Spruce Pine, Newland, Kings Mountain, Asheville, Brevard, Buncombe County, Green River, Marshall, and all these areas. And let us not forget the minerals that are contained there. There's multiple, but there's two main. We've got lithium and we have quartz. Now, mind you, Kings Mountain was fighting against it, and the referendum was struck down to allow them to expand the quartz mining. And the referendum for the lithium mines, yes, you can mine what you already got. We can't stop you. But the people that now their land's declared a disaster area and are living in tents and getting their kids taken from them, the people that are getting cents on a dollar for what their property's worth, payouts from our government, because it's been, a disaster area that you can't go back to. You can't even go get your belongings. And they're all running out of hotel room stays within the last 7 to 10 days and have nowhere to go and haven't received their checks, of course, from the government. So, hey, you have no job, you have no home, you can't get your clothes, you can't get your belongings. We're going to take your kids, put you in a tent. Maybe if you're lucky, you'll get an RV, a single wide, or a tiny home that you're sharing with 3 other families. See, they ain't telling y'all all this. Well, I'm here. I'm boots on the ground every day because I'm living it right now. I've popped it busted. They're trying to get this a disaster area, even though it's been fixed, and hollering mold. But you know what? It passed those tests. It didn't have the mold they thought it did or wanted to say it did. But I digress. There's a reason I bring this up, and I want y'all to keep that in the back of your mind when I start talking about the drones. Now, 2 things. What wasn't widely publicized, and those of you that know who Rand Paul is, during the time that every news station out there, yes, I am, for right now, Miss Justice, I was supposed to have an $88 and some change credit on my Duke Power bill. Their automated system did payment arrangements at $172 bill. They did payment arrangements on $140 worth. And then Took the bill, subtracted the 120 I paid them, and added 52 to the current bill. Didn't credit my payments and didn't credit my current bill for the other 8807. So I'm kind of in a battle with them. They're like, well, it might take 30 to 45 more days for the system to get it right. And in the meantime, I have to pay a $150 light bill and a $40 water bill because it's still for the period that I had the roommate. You know, the one that stayed from December 18th to January 18th to pay $21. The one that came in with Waffle House boxes and McDonald's boxes and a brand new phone, and I couldn't even get oodles and noodles in a styrofoam cup. I had to get the square pack type ish, you know. And when she was too sick to get up and take me to our mutual friend's funeral, passed the day before my kid's birthday, that was my final straw. And I assisted her in getting out. And it's been peace since I got the demon out the house. I ain't even no other way to put it. And if you're watching, Nina, God don't like ugly, but I do pray for you every day that He helps you and your soul. And that I will say this. I got a peace that I never had before since I rededicated my life. And believe it or not, it has been more difficult since then. Every day has been a battle and a fight because Satan don't want to lose us all. But I'm not giving in to him at all. Anyway, back to the story. So, the Department of Justice signed an agreement with the company that owns the lithium mines to have them up and operational by March of 2025 and expanded and putting almost double the amount of lithium out. And it is a process. They have to have beds, dries it out, the brine and stuff. It is a long process. They don't just mine it and stick it in it doesn't work that way. They have to mine it. They have to extract it from the lithium ore. And then they have these brine that look like these huge Olympic-sized pools where basically it gets dried out by the sun, for lack of a better way to tell you. And you're left with something that looks like salt crystals that they make into a battery. Okay, so now let's talk about these drones. So we got Rand Paul. And during the time that these drones are all over New Jersey and then starting to appear, Tennessee and Arkansas and other places, but predominantly New Jersey, I started doing research, number one, on where they're appearing and what's near them. Even as far away as Argentina and other countries. And there's a few things real important, and I'm not sure which way I want to tell you first. So here's what I'm going to say. When it was all over every news channel you could tune into, talking about drones and showing the videos of the orbs and the people talking about that they could hear them talking to them and communicating with them. Okay. All that's going on. Simultaneously, there's some other things going on. Look left so you don't see what we're doing on the right. So while everybody's getting scared to death and our government's saying they're not foreign, they're not ours, they're not alien, you have no worries, but we don't know what they are. At that same time, guess what's going on Capitol Hill? There's a bill before Congress limiting drone use for the general public to where, you go to Rose's, Sky City, Kmart, Walmart, wherever, and you buy one of them little drones, big lots, it's like under $50. You would now need a license and a flight plan to be able to use your drone. So you're out here with your 7-year-old grandchild, your 9-year-old child, 10-year-old, whatever. You can no longer put that drone up and take pretty pictures and post it on YouTube or have those pictures just to look at or to paint or whatever you want them for. You can no longer have that time with your child in flight if this bill passes, because to even fly the $35 drone that you can get at Big Lots that you attach your phone to the camera to control and whatnot, that, has a flight time of 15 minutes or less because of the rechargeable battery size, wink, wink, nod, nod, we're leading to something. If this bill passes, you're going to have to get licensed as a drone pilot. And there'll be levels to it, kind of like cars, semi trucks, motorcycles, scooters, that kind of thing. Levels to it, okay? Yeah, the news has moved on, and that is a real clear indication that we were living a psyop, and that's part of what I'm getting to. I think it was all our government, but I'm going to give you facts and reasons that I think this is. Number one, the bill didn't pass, y'all. Rand Paul did what's known as a filibuster in Congress. And he bought enough time that the news cycle went forward. And because it was a PSYOP, black flag, whatever you want to call it, operation, is what I believe. They left the bill alone. It died on the floor. And all of a sudden, the news media stopped talking about it. Now, Chase Hughes from the behavior panel as well was on Valuetainment and his own channel, detailing the top 5 things for a PSYOP. And the number one thing he said, they've gone too far. That's why I'm talking. Go watch the video. I'll put links to everything I'm talking about in the description after the live is finished. I can't do it during the live. Not on the kind of, I'm running data off my phone. That's all I got right now. You guys, I'm sorry. I'm doing the best I can. I will be uploading shorts and videos. A video that's 10 minutes takes me about 5.5 hours to get it uploaded. Please know that. So please watch. Please just give me a thumbs up just for the time and the effort that I'm putting in there, if nothing else, whether you agree or disagree. And comment and let me know what you think. If you think I'm batshit crazy, tell me. You're batshit crazy, old lady. And I'm okay with that. It's that fake, sugary sweet insincerity. Pie in the sky knows what I mean by that. That sarcasm-laced stuff. But anyways, let me get on with it. So the bill died in Congress, and the news cycle changed. Now, like I was talking about Chase Hughes, one of the main 5 things to recognize a PSYOP is the news, is every major news entity out there talking about this all at one time, all of a sudden, and without a resolution, without an answer, without it being solved, does it just die off? And that's what happened. And has happened. You don't see the orbs in the sky no more, do you? New Jersey ain't talking about them flying. You're not seeing them all over your social media from just Joe Blow and Jane Doe posting it. Why? Why? I got another answer. I want you to look not at the plane. See, there was different types of drones and orbs. There was the ball-like orbs of light that they showed that one close-up that looked like it was somebody. Then they showed another one that kind of looked like it was glitching. And I have still shots of all this to show you guys, and I'm going to post them. That look like it, or I'm going to upload a video with them, whichever I can get done the quickest and to the best clarity. But it showed glitching, and one of them it showed it glitching, and it turned, and it looked like a regular plane. Then it went back to an orbit in a regular plane. You want to know why? Look at where all the orbs of light were spotted, all across the world, not just the U.S. They're less than a 5-mile radius from some type of United States military facility, whether it's just an airport, whether it's on the water and we have a cruiser, a submarine, a landing ship, whatever. Why? Because, in my opinion, I believe the orbs were a part of holographic technology that we don't fully got a good grasp on, distance wise. So it had to be so close to where the thing that was projecting the hologram is located. That's my first opinion. Now, here's my second thought. And I do have pictures from drones that were brought down and crashed. One was on a highway interstate, um, actually in the Tennessee area. And I have still shots. And miraculously enough, it looks like a miniature gray airplane. Slightly smaller than like a one-man airplane. Um, and here's another thing. Those red, yellow, and green lights, do y'all know what those are for? And why they were there? Those are the lights that are required by apparatuses that are flying day or night flight, doesn't matter, by the United States Federal Aviation Administration. Now, here's a question to ponder that's stuck right here for me when I'm thinking common sense. And I want to ask y'all in the chat, please let me know, respond ASAP to what I'm about to ask. Do you think that if aliens, China, Russia, Iran, Iraq, Kazakhstan, wherever, was sending drones to spy on us, that they're going to have any kind of lights on them at night? Or are they going to try to fly under the radar and be unnoticed? That's number one. Number two, do you really think that a Chinese drone and them are going to do the research on what lights and what pattern and what flicker rate and everything else they have to be to comply with the U.S. FAA? Aliens is going to do that. Spies are going to do that. Get the hell out of here. Who's going to do that? Our government. Because they think we're idiots wrapped in bonds and that we'll buy whatever they're selling us. To them, we're mushroom. They're going to keep us in the dark and feed us shit and hope we're happy campers with what we get. Now, why? Why do they need this bill? And why did they do this PSYOP if that's what it is? I'm going to give you two reasons. One, nothing else but the revenue generated by making anybody flying a drone get a license and a permit to fly it. Local, federal, and state levels, they all win from that. They all get more money in the coffers. Point blank, period. Two, they do it and scare us to death, so we get behind our Senate and our Congress and tell them, yeah, we want this bill. We'll give up our freedoms for protection because we're scared. Y'all don't know what this is. We don't know what this is. Help us. Protect us. And then they know everybody's got a drone. They know everywhere you're flying it, what you're taking video and pictures of, what the capabilities of it are, where you are, and you're paying them to tell on yourself. Okay? Now, let's talk about the size of these drones and what they would need to fly them. So you got a drone that's almost the size of a small SUV, like my mom's car, a Nissan Rogue. You know, smaller than a Ford Bronco. Okay? Stick with me. Talking to drone experts and some persons that I know that used to have DoD contracts and ex-military personnel. A couple things I found out. And I will have to say allegedly on some parts, just for protection purposes alone. But the lithium battery needed to power these planes, the size of them, these drones, for 40 minutes to an hour flights, approximately, because we're seeing them in the videos and stuff of them in the sky, the orbs, with what I believe are holographic images that they're projecting. I think all of them were just regular old looking airplane drones, looking like a little miniature airplane, like the size of an SUV or, PT Cruiser. PT Cruiser's an excellent, excellent size comparison. Um, what kind of battery do you think they'd need for that? Because the battery's got to power the lights, the engine, the flight, everything that they do. Video, picture, technology, whatever. They're checking. Oh, by the way, it's also during the time that the same company that was working with allegedly Dog the Bounty Hunter and them uh, on the thermal imaging pictures with the satellites, they really did deploy those satellites around the 15th of January 2025. There's a ring of satellites going around the world, allegedly, deployed by that same company that has DOD and DOJ contracts that were signed less than 60 days before all the drones appeared, and that's technology they're working on. I also have some plane technology and helicopter technology they're working on that looks very similar to a miniature Black Hawk. But I digress. The size that we're talking about these drones, according to professional drone flyers that I've spoken to, the size of these drones and the size of the batteries, the lithium ion batteries they would need to power just the drone itself would be two batteries the size of what. Yes, though it would be two batteries, not one but two that size, for each drone in flight. Then guess what the drones need and the operator helmets need, that they can see where the drone's going and what the drone can see in real time, like they're in the plane. Like if you can ever remember back in the days when the mall had arcades and you went and you rode the motorcycle game, where it was a real motorcycle, or you sat down and you were playing the car racing game and you got the pedals and the gear shift and the steering wheel and you're sitting in like the race car seat. That's exactly what allegedly military individuals are sitting in, with something similar to a helmet or eyeglasses. It's like kind of, imagine virtual reality. Okay? So don't tell me it don't exist. We have it for public use. And it's just not real time, real life applications yet. But imagine a VR headset that's connected to this drone that's flying, that gives the person sitting in that chair the capability to see it like they're sitting in the seat of the cockpit in that drone. If you think that doesn't exist, you're probably loopier than I ever was. Okay? Allegedly, military personnel have said it's been here since the mid to late 90s. I mean, 80s, sorry, 80s. Like we're talking 87 to 88 range that it was up and available. But sustained flight time was less than 10 minutes until they realized the rechargeable lithium ion batteries that would power a Tesla, car, or truck would also work for these. Now, if they were planning on putting this satellite system around the Earth in orbit, would our government need to have a squadron of drone / unmanned aerial aircraft that uses AI technology, or actual pilots that aren't in the planes to fly them? What would they need? What would they need in the VR sets, in the seat and arcade looking game they're sitting in, what would they need in that plane? There's two big things I can think of, and we don't have them here and mine them in the U.S. And they weren't getting access to them they wanted prior to Helene. They need the capability to be able, in my opinion, allegedly, our government would need the capability to own U.S. soil, not South African soil, where the largest lithium mine is located, not Chinese soil, where the next one's at currently, but on our soil. They would need the capability to mine enough lithium to do those batteries. Let's see. I made chicken and rice with broccoli and cheese. Now I'm listening for real, for real. I heard that. I had chicken out of the can and rice and a bag of bird's eye veggies. It had water chestnuts, the snow peas, and carrots and broccoli in it. And I used the last little bit of teriyaki sauce mixed with a little bit of water. And that's 3 days. That's 3 meals off of that. And it's pretty good. Now I've taken to making homemade dog food. But there's some lithium in Canada. But with what's going on with Canada, my point is they would need U.S. soil to be able to carry on this project and keep it covert, as not let us, the citizens, or the people we don't get along with, know about it so that they could prepare and be ready. I think possibly it was defense, but think about the capabilities. Think about what we could do. So and I can't think of what they're called. I keep wanting to say destroyers, but think about the ships, the Air Force ships and naval ships we have that have takeoff and landing runways. And normal planes, they can fit like 30 to 50, depending on the size of the ship, right? For takeoff and a whole squadron and whatnot, right? So you're more than doubling that because you got half the size on the plane, right? Okay. But again, to have 80 to 100 of those SUV-sized drones ready at a moment's notice to take off, be piloted, drop bombs, shoot, pew, pew, pew. And by the way, I do have still shots of them shooting laser, from one from the ground and one from the sky. I have all that. My thing is, I think I'll make the dumplings I like. I don't know if they're considered fluffy or flat. They remind me of a fried apple pie the way you make them. You stuff it, flip it over, and kind of take your fork around the edge, and it makes it kind of like a half moon shape. Anyway, my thing is, what would you need? Well, you're going to need the lithium for the batteries, and you're going to need a large amount of the lithium, not what you've been bringing in. You can't buy extra from where you've been already getting it, because they're going to be like, what's up? Why is the U.S. all of a sudden buying 4 to 6 times the lithium? And the cost prohibitive, and you're giving away intelligence secrets. Okay, so let's go to the next step. What else would they need? What do they need in the control devices? What do they need in the helmets, the VR type helmets? What do they need to communicate betwixt the two? Well, they need quartz. They need pure quartz to make the crystals that go inside the plane and that go inside the communication devices, so they can talk to each other. The same thing that's contained in every cell phone, in everything you buy. But they're going to need larger ones. They're going to need pure clarity. And guess what? Thanks to Helene and the storm path that she took and the destruction that she wrought, those communities that were against the lithium mining expanding all the way into Asheville's Arts District. And my thing is, people were like, well, North Carolina's predominantly a red state. Well, guess what? The areas that got the most damage were predominantly blue. And they got screwed by the blue team. Just so you know, we all screwed by the blue team. Um, that being said, let's logically think about this. Thanks to the path of the hurricane, the way has been cleared. They can now mine and expand 4 times the area that they were originally able to mine just a month before the hurricane. For lithium, just for the lithium. Then when we go to Newland and Spruce Pine area, and Marshall and a few others out through there, Chimney Rock, that was bulldozed down and totally destroyed. It's amazing. Cherokee and them was saved. But anyway, just meanderings of an old lady. Don't pay me no attention. This is all for entertainment purposes only, in my opinion. What would you need to be able to have a squadron of 100 to 150 drones to be able to talk to them, communicate them, and fly besides the battery? You need the pure quartz crystals, and you need a large amount. And amazingly enough, after Helene come through, Chimney Rock, Spruce Pine, Lake Lure, the dam broke. The dam was supposed to be repaired in 2018 and 2021. And monies were given by state and federal grants to do so. What's up with that? But amazingly enough, now, all those areas that were barriers to the government being able to get that lithium and that quartz that they needed to have that squadron and defend or go out here and attack and drop bombs and throw their hands up and say, it wasn't us. We don't know nothing about that. We've been being attacked by them too. Helene cleared the way for all that to happen. Huh. Oh, and don't think I'm going to end this live stream before I talk about Summer Wells and what's going on there. I got some thoughts too, and I'm going to piss some people off, and I don't really care. I tried the nice way. I got threatened. I lost my job. I ended up in a shitstorm. So now I'm just going to say what's on my mind. So those of you that are there for summer, don't walk away. Oh, true crime. I'm going to keep it 100. She asked me, do I think that Trump's going to help everyone? I didn't vote for him. I didn't vote for Kamala either. People could think I'm crazy and I'm a liar if they want to. I voted for Chili Pepper and Dottie Jean. That's her best friend. My dog and her best friend, another dog, for vice president. I had to put something down. I didn't want to just leave it blank because I was afraid they'd fill in the blank for me. And I couldn't go with Kamala when I looked at her record, and her name should have been Flip Flop. And I'm talking about her record back when she was district attorney in California all the way up. I am not just... And let me say this. Where in the hell was she as a vice president? I saw her get sworn in, and I seen her after Biden got sent to eat pudding and jello. And his clone got rolled out. Allegedly. I might be making a little sarcasm and humor here. Okay? Nothing is... It's entertainment purposes only. Don't always take me serious. That being said, I'm very surprised at what's going on now. And I'm very scared for those that are finding out. How many of y'all are happy to know that you're funding Sesame Street in Iraq? Regardless of what you feel, at the end of the day, I firmly believe in a separation of church and state. I don't think I want my government in my personal business. I I think that if my grandson couldn't have Obamacare or Medicaid and it pay for a circumcision, why should it pay for a transition? Those are my questions. If you're going to do it all the way across the board. Don't make a difference between people. Don't make people feel like they're being forced to accept or deny. No, you can't say and do things that are inflammatory and derogatory and purposely hurtful in certain ways towards people, but you are entitled to your own opinion if we're going to be a free country. You can't be Kanye West because that's stupid. If y'all can't see through that, that is such a stupid play for media attention and somebody to have his name in his mouth because he ain't put no music out worth the shit to talk about in ever since he married Kim Kardashian. After college dropout, he dropped out. Maybe if he had put down the nitrous, he could do something. In my opinion, allegedly. All he's worried about showing TNA and doing whatever and forming his own church. That stuff's weird. But Hollywood types are weird to me. Don't get me started. And on the D thing, oh, I think Diddy's a monster and I think he's fully guilty. Y'all don't want me to talk about that. Because a lot of people's faves that keep talking about stuff, I'm with Rabbit from Down the Rabbit Hole News. I know too much, I've done too much research, and I know people are full of shit and lies. I'm just saying. And sometimes they're batting for the other team. Because let me say this. I heard that. Let me say this to you guys. Sometimes, oh, fuck it. I'm just going to say it outright. If Diddy's team wants to discredit Cassie and the people that are really real and that have real video and audio proof that he did something to them, that have doctor's test and drug test or whatever to be able to prove, have witnesses or whatever. Hey, Annette, what's the best way to do that? What's the best way to sway public opinion? In my opinion, and two publicists I spoke to's opinion, the easiest way to change public opinion, of course, is to utilize social media, which he's great at. And how do you do that? How do you do that? Well, you can bribe creators with money to get them to speak on your behalf. But does that necessarily mean that they're going to be believed? Or you can bribe creators to have unauthenticated people and have those people like, what is her name? The one that come out with in the Andrea guy on the Lionel B show. Have her come out and tell a story that's easily discredited. And when you have multiple people come out that way, what does that do? That makes us doubt every other person's story. So if right now something happens and proves that Jaguar Wright and Allie Carter are liars, like Courtney Burgess and his attorney and the Nisha girl or whatever she's supposed to be that claims she's girl on the table and that claims she's the white girl with blonde hair that I told you she wasn't. I got videos up before it came out. I said, that's a white woman. That is not that lady. That is a white girl with blonde hair. I may or may not have known the identity. That's neither here nor there. I knew there was no way. And she's like, it's because I'm fat. No, girl, I'm a fat girl too. Shoot. I just knew that wasn't you. I'm not an idiot wrapped in a moron. It's all psyops. I've been I know that's right, Annette. I don't think that the P. Diddy thing is a psyop. He did a lot of that. I think there's, sorry guys, I got to turn the heat down. I'm sweating. I think there's a lot more of that pay to play, whether it's with favors or funds, in the entertainment industry than people want to acknowledge or admit. And one other thing, though, think about this. Those of you that are Christian, Those of you that know your Bible, regardless, and maybe other religions, and I have no problem, let me say this, I have no problem with other religious beliefs. But one thing, those of you who do believe that, what part, before the devil got cast out of heaven, what was his main job? What was he over? Music and entertainment. So is it any wonder that now we're seeing signs of whatever that is, and is above, down below, like Alicia Keys did, and all this? Is it any wonder that we're seeing that rampant in the entertainment industry and sacrifice allegations and all that? What if the devil had dominion over something on this earth? What would it be? Right on net music, entertainment. And those that worship Baphomet and certain other religious deities in that era, in that genre, I guess you'd say, they're not atheists. They won't tell you they don't believe in God. They believe in God. Because without God, there's no devil. You gotta have the good to have the bad. I mean, and I've been looking into a lot of theology, just like the fact that all of our presidents' bloodlines eventually trace back to King James. The same King James that did our King James version of our Bible and edited, I hate that word, did edits on it that suited him. So, in my studies, I've reached and broadened my horizons because I don't know that I necessarily sure do crucifixes. And if you watch where the crucifix, like, instead of the plus being up, the cross being up here, it's down here, or upside down, or black. A lot of them it's black, with red on it. Why do you see so much? Like, you'll see parties. There's white, there's red, and there's black. And you'll notice that at certain stages in their careers, they're all wearing that. Elites claim Nephilim blood, it's been said. And I'm going to say this. I'll say it on here, why not? In my personal thought process and opinion and studies, I believe it's not aliens. I think it's the Nephilim. However you want to say it. It's not an alien. Like, all these people talk about lizard people and the aliens from here and Bigfoot, all that, the tall giant, all that stuff. I think that's Nephilim. And I think it will come out. Sure are the Templars. Yes, sir. All that and it. I'm agreeing with you guys. Sure does. But you're talking about the higher order of Masonic. Like, when you've got somebody, if they're not in the 20s to 30s, they're not going to know about that stuff. It's more just like a men's club, like, the Moose Lodge type thing for them. It's not, to get that knowledge, you're going to be several tiers up. That's just my personal opinion based on studies, and I'm not talking about something that my neighbor told me. I'm talking about studies where I've went to the History Channel, the Discovery Channel, and got books and went and researched and pulled those up and read them. By the way, you'd be surprised at what our government buries in the middle of patents and certain filings they do. 300 and some page patent True story on that, Annette. True story on that. But 300 and some page patent, I think it was like 370 some or 60 some pages. 300 and some page patent. And about 212 pages in, it tells you about this thing that's developed, and Bill Gates is actually patented, and it's patent number 666. Might want to check into that if you don't know about it. Tracks your movements, your heartbeat, your heart rhythm. I saw an app they tried to get me to download the other day. It'll check your blood sugar by laying it on your arm. I don't know that I buy that. Well, whatever on that one. Whatever. Something I wanted to talk about Summer Wells' case. I've said this before. Well, before I do that, one other thing. The 19, the fungulitis 19 that YouTube still smacks us down talking about. Can I get an I told you so moment, please? And I'll post doctor statements, videos that's recently come out verifying what I'm going to say. I said that it was man-made because there was a 97.839 something match on the outer circle to the HIV virus. And it was that particular change from 18 to 19 right, Annette, from the fungulitis 18 to fungulitis 19, the change that occurred was that humans could be infected. And by putting that outer membrane to match the outer membrane of HIV, it was then able to infect humans. Do y'all think that occurred naturally? I didn't back then, and I don't now. And go back and look at my videos. You'll see I was not saying that, and I'm not saying it now. It was totally manufactured. In my opinion, it was virus warfare. Still is. Are they tinkering with the bird flu now? Type A flu was running rampant. Viral pneumonia, norovirus. And when I say running rampant, every hospital in this area for the same 3-week period didn't have any rooms available, had people that they were keeping in ER rooms and in hallways. 2 and 3 deep in all the rooms. Ain't happened. Didn't even happen during the fungulitis terror. Next. On that same vein, studies are showing that type A was more susceptible to the virus, more likely, if the virus was caught, to pass away from it. And type O, positive and negative, was the least affected. And I said that years ago. So this is my I told you so moment to people. The reason is because type O's outer membrane is slick and it's harder for it to attach. It's what was told back then. And I believe that too. But I also think it was engineered. Just like the first tip off to me about it was that pregnant women and children weren't getting sick from it. No. Think about that. Please tell me one other ailment that doesn't affect 2 of the weakest immune system people out there. And I'll wait. Patiently wait. And yes, we did live through all that, but we got to learn from it, so we can't never. There you go, Miss Justice. The statistics are out now. And a lot of doctors and, nurses and lab people that do research are coming out. And statistics are very eye-opening about who was the largest persons in society that were taken out. Now, if you needed population control and the ability for blood, y'all know transfusions and passings, you know, um, was important. What would you not want to lose? Because O positive and O negative, what is the universal donor and what is the universal receiver? Think about that for a moment. Yeah, I'm not sure what smokers you're talking about. If you mean Mary Jane smokers, they were very low on the ability. It seems that THC somehow provided a natural immunity. And type A, positive or negative, and AB, positive or negative, were the two groups that were most affected, had the highest rates of morbidity from contracting the virus, according to statistics they're putting out now. And who knows if we can trust them? I mean, I don't know. And isn't it weird that people that was smoking Mary Jane and cigarettes didn't get affected? And it was respiratory illness that was taking people out. I'm just saying. Another one of those coinky dinks that don't make sense. Or was there something in it that killed that virus? Just saying. Now, while I'm on one, let's talk about Summer's case. I'm going to light a cigarette for this one and do a cheer. Let's see. I got to turn my drink around because I don't want to be saying I'm advertising for a company. But my mouth was dry, y'all. Don't laugh at the cigarettes. They're self-rolled. Tubes. $1.99 a box. That's it's in yonder. I was going to show y'all the box. $1.99 a box for 200 tubes. $4.99 a bag for enough to roll the 200 tubes. And usually I have enough to roll to Lacey and TJ for get rolling machine. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to read just comments too. Yes, I believe they're reducing it because I swear I got to smoke more. I'll tell you a secret too. For instance, regular Marlboros, they have black and red and black and gold. Do you know what the difference is? The black and red contains more sugar. That's why they have a sweet taste than the black and gold. I'm reading y'all's comments. All kinds of natural remedies. True story. I agree. Homeopathic remedies are a lot of times the best. Well, that makes sense. I'm not sure what her meds were, but that makes sense in that. Amen to that one. Congratulations, True Crime. One pack every 3 days. You rock. I limit myself to one every hour and 42 minutes. And I'm working weekly to go up. And I know that may sound crazy, but sometimes after you've waited past the craving, you don't want one when you can have one. And if you don't smoke it then, you got to wait another hour and 42 before you can smoke. That's my little rules in my notebook I keep up with. I love herbs. Sage is one of my favorite ones just because of the cleansing. Let's look outside. The filters cause smoker sickness. Well, that's why I like rolling my own. And I know that may sound weird because it's still a filter in a tube, but the cheap filters, they don't put the fiberglass and stuff in. They can't afford it. That's why I get the ones. I've tried different ones, and the ones that are $1.99 at the store I can walk to are the best. And I would love to give up smoking, you guys. I honestly would, but I'm under so much stress, I just can't. Oh, wait till I tell you about gardening stuff too. Um, if you have a freezer, the ability to package it and freeze it, every time you do an onion, a tomato, or anything with seeds, Save your seeds and save your ends, like your top and bottom of your tomato and your onion. You don't need seeds from the store. A potato, you just need a regular old potato, whatever kind you want to grow, yellow, red, white. Put it in the ground, in the pot. You can actually take Amazon boxes and put your dirt and stuff in it and grow potatoes, and then you just cut the box open when they're done. You'd be surprised how many potatoes that you can get off of one single potato. And then you don't have their seeds that's got plastics and chemicals and crap added to it. I got my potatoes at the farmer's market. My friend, I I bought the ones that didn't sell, that was slightly going bad. They're the best ones to use to grow off of. And the onion and tomato and cucumber work. I did them in pots in my windowsill, along with my lavender. I've been eating off of them all winter. And I want to do the herb thing next. I just don't know where I'm going to be. But I can't grow a flower worth of crap. I got a brown thumb when it comes to them. But light up. This is what I want to talk about. And I'm just going to let her fly and the chips fall where they may. So, am I the only one that's noticed that since Summer went missing, that TBI has been running sting operation after sting operation after sting operation on child trafficking? Is it just me that Wayland illegal immigrant crime ring that was doing it? You know, we don't have that problem. Joe Biden and Kamala said we didn't have that issue. They all lie to us. I don't give a shit where they. Once they get so high up in politics, all they're worried about sliding in their own pockets and what's best for them and theirs, in my opinion. Or the lobbyists that are up there paying them money. You know, Big Pharma, look into it and how much money they put into dinners and campaign fundraisers and stuff. But, you know, I agree with you, Annette, and I want to speak on it. This ain't me talking about no research or nothing like that. This is just my thoughts. Stuff that I've held back for about 3 years now, and I'm tired of holding it back. I'm not going to be scared and afraid anymore. I'm going to say what's on my mind. So here it goes. Because I've only probably got about another 15 or 20 minutes before it'll make me disconnect. I'm over an hour now. And it won't upload it if I don't under that time frame. YouTube's a fickle beast. That being said, there are YouTubers that I feel before they even went on YouTube about the case were personally involved and knowledgeable about the case, and not so forthright with those of us that were watching their programs. That's number one. That's where I'm going to start at. Now, everybody that vilified me and talked shit to me, y'all can kiss my ass. That's where I'm starting at right now. Anybody that said one bad word about me involved with Summer's case and still tunes in to watch Ziggy can kiss my fat, white crack of my ass. She married Fred Hill, who we know does math. Y'all that came after me because of her 9.5 hour live stream she did tricking me. Now, God don't like ugly, and I'm not going to go through all that. But y'all need to look within yourselves. And then a lot of y'all come and say sorry. Because I ain't having shit to do with nobody in no Hawkins County. I sure ain't laying down with them. You know, the one that showed you the deer bones. The one that said that she was in the park and that the old fella told her he was there. That's who she married. The one that all the neighborhood said would be creepy creeping around in 3 and 4 in the morning. And I'm the bad guy. Get out of my face. Every one of them people can kiss my ass. 3 times. I'll mark you an acre off. Okay, we'll put your name on it. Not do it. It's too hard to get off. Then my next thing is, so about a year ago, Jody Sue comes out and says that about the selling of the rugs and the kids being the gophers. And now I'm on date, so it might be longer than that. But it's dadgum sure within the past 6 months. I think it's within the past few days. Because Evil Exist was talking about it, and that's why I seen it. That Jody's produced a time card showing that Andy clocked in and right back out and never clocked back in on the day that Summer went missing. Which would mean Fred might have been telling the truth about him being there at that time of day he's seen him. And going all the way out to the end of the road where Candace was. You know, where the neighbor that's the lawyer is that's still not allowed nobody to search his property. Allegedly, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay. I said my question, the same question I had when Jody come out and said that about the rugs and the kids being involved and using so they can knock them out so things can be done. Why has it taken you so long to bring this information forward? Why some gone for 3 years and you're showing us a time card, Jody? You didn't just last month, week. That's the shit that pisses me off. Amy and Annette, that's what I was about to say too. Every one of them that we've talked about knew what was going on before Summer went missing. Every one of them knew. It's like just who told us. She could tell who was a coming and a going by the sound of the car. Just like they told us all when Jackie, whatever his name is, the weirdo man, that they wanted to blame, showed up. How long did he even get to be there before half the hill was coming like a lynch mob at him? If somebody had to walk their ass up there on that hill to get that little girl that didn't live around there and wasn't known, everybody in that hill, everybody on Ben Hill and everybody in Beach Creek would have known about it within 15 minutes or less. Say I'm wrong. Prove me wrong. I live in the same type community. I know what I'm talking about. I've lived in the hills and the hollers. Identical. Guarantee you I can go up and down a similar road and you'd not know if I was on Ben Hill or on Flintstone Hill. It's the same. Everybody knows everybody. Just like when I went out during high school, me and my best friend with Jeff and Jeff couldn't take them in the house after we from Pizza Hut and the movie theater. Inside the building in between my house that ain't Bernice and Uncle James's house. Me. My mama had a phone call about him peeing before he got tipped and walked back around the building. It ain't changed. And in everything they told us it ain't changed. You can't be a little bit pregnant. If you know the sound of every car coming on enough to know if it was the SUV, the white truck, or the little red car that the Wells was coming out in, if you knew enough by hearing and sound that Jackie Hobbs was somebody that didn't belong there, then you would have known if some stranger come up there and snatched her. So let's X that one out. Personally, I think Dawn told us the truth and we didn't see it. The weekend before she went missing, the same kind of Facebook Messenger thread about grandma being at the hospital and wanting to go fishing and hang out existed between a minor and mommy. The difference is the day before Summer went missing, CPS got a call, supposedly about their, depending on who you listen to, their first, third, or seventh report on the family. They came. Summer was not available to see. They didn't see her. They didn't talk to her because she was already gone. That's my opinion. And I'm going to stand in it. And they're like bungholes. Everybody's got one and they're all different, but they all stink. And they told them that day, we're coming back. And if you don't let us see her, we're going to take you to jail. Now remember, this ain't Candace's first rodeo, babies. She gave up her children in Wisconsin. And the only reason she didn't face any kind of prosecution was because she didn't give them no shit and signed away them rights. Email. That being said, what did they end up doing? 2.5 years later, what happened with the boys? Who's got custody and how'd they get it? Hey, September Virgo, welcome, my love. Who's got custody and how did it happen? Mommy and Daddy signed their rights away, like they were always going to do. They weren't going to comply with no rug test and parenting classes and supervised visitation. How many supervised visits did they go to before they quit and gave up and gave in? Let's keep it 100. Keep it real. Summer was already gone when CPS came out the day before she was reported missing. Everything that was done on the day that that child was reported missing was done to establish an alibi, in my opinion, allegedly. And people think I'm crazy, but yes, I do believe that child is still alive. Those drills, they ain't fake. Has anybody asked Clyda if anybody went home with her? Because she was there the week before Summer went missing. You know Clyda, whose husband was the head of the Kingsport Mormon branch, Hawkins County Mormon branch, who met her husband at Brigham Young University, who had money, the survey field that her husband created a way to do surveys that they still use today. Royalties and residuals are some real shit. Not to mention, not only did they meet at Brigham Young, but they got married at the California Temple, the most holy of all. Then the parents on the way to California stop in Utah, release balloons, make a little rock formation. What would have happened if that child had been there when CPS came? All the kids would have been gone, most likely, in my opinion, allegedly. If we are all right, if all the neighbors are telling the truth, if everything's true about what was going on, most likely rugs would have been in their systems, hair follicle tests for certain. And I'm not just talking about the kids. I'm talking about parents as well. And maybe even grandma. And with hair follicles, they can go back 7 years and they can tell you did this 6 months ago, you did this a year ago, you did this 3 years ago. It's time to be real and to stop tiptoeing through the tulips. Because I'm a bull in a china shop. I'm a rip the band-aid off type person. I'm not this placate and kiss somebody's ass type individual. I can't do it no more. I'm not going to try. When Dawn said that about he hoped she was with a rich woman that was giving her a good, happy life. Hmm. After the dungeon comment, in which I think he all over the place because of his drug use and the alcohol and everything else. We've seen it. Anybody ever forget the toilet incident? I'm an Aries, so when guitar Aries are kind of known to just cut through the shit, not like to take a bunch of crap, and we ain't got time for the craps. That being said, if something had happened to that girl that day that she was reported missing on that hill, they all knew. If she hadn't been there for days, they all knew. Why are they not talking? Because they all got something to hide. Whether it's an affair they were having on their wife, whether it's the grow operation they had for Mary Jane and they don't want the popo to know, or whether they had a still in the woods, or they had a bathtub and some math shaking and baking in them woods. Think about it, y'all. They all had something to hide. They all have a reason to protect themselves. Then in comes several unscrupulous YouTubers. And I'm sorry, when you still cover the case and you marry one of the 5 main persons of interest in that case, I don't understand. Including Ronnie. Absolutely. 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 Ain't it amazing? Has anybody noticed Ronnie, Andy, Fred's family? Because Andy's family and Fred's family is one and the same. Anybody notice the similarity in something they all share, which is probably the same lodge? They all got that G with around it, just like Clyda's husband. They all have that tie, that Masonic tie. No matter what their religious beliefs is. Then, when you see ties to Vice Lords, Sinaloan cartel, I got laughed at for that when I first brought it, but didn't they just bust some in the Texas and Tennessee area and Arkansas? Hmm. By the way, TBI's been doing their bust in the Tennessee areas surrounding Summer. But they also been some major DOJ busts in Texas for a child ST ring, as well as Arkansas. Hmm. Did anybody in this case ever live in them states too? Huh. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm not a fool. I'm tired of people trying to treat me like I am one. And then when I touch too close to what's the real, and step on your toes, you want to destroy my life. You want to drag me through YouTube streets to make me seem like an idiot wrapped in moron. Agree to that. I agree there's going to be a lot more September. A lot more. And that's what I feel like. And I hope every one of the bastards fry. chief of the fire department and his son. Same fire department that was instrumental in helping with the search for Summer. I wonder if any of them had a horse that could have been loose that day. I wonder how many of them was shaking and baking. You'd be surprised sometimes. I know I have been recently looking at the paper here locally. Clerk of court, an attorney, possession of fent, possession of meth, more than 30 grams. Sorry, I started saying kilograms. That's a lot, I think. It might have been more than a mint. I don't know. I don't know how to weigh it. You don't know how it works and stuff. That being said, when y'all doing the same thing together and y'all all hanging out together and you afraid that you gonna get them silver bracelets and that nice 3 yachts in a cot, you might lie to the public and the police. Do you think? That part. Absolutely, Annette, and I feel it's going to be coming. I feel like Ep, that I can't say, the Epstein and the Diddy, it's all similar. And in my opinion, it seems like an organized operation to get blackmail on people with influence and power. So when the time comes, you can sway them to act in your best interest, not their constituents. But that's just a thought where my brain, this old lady's, goes. Got you. Sorry, I'm reading y'all's comments. Good night, true crime. I'm getting ready to end. Literally, I have to. I have 4 minutes, and YouTube's gonna cut me off anyway. I just want everybody to think outside the box. I want you guys to use what God gave us, and please go to the community newly labeled post section. I apologize that I don't have a way right now to go live and be able to bring documents up and show them to you. But everything I talked about with the drones, I'm going to show you documented proof. And I think they tried to use Project Bluebeam because everybody already knows about it. They used bits and pieces from that to do the drone thing to get the outcome they wanted. It's just social media is a bitch now. They can't do what they used to could do. And those of you out there that harmed that little girl Summer, that lied and has protected the people that did harm her and that were involved in it, my God does not like ugly. And whether TBI, FBI, CIA, or Ronnie comes knocking on your door or not, he's coming. And everything that child went through, you're going to experience it too. And then some. Thank you so much, True Crime. And Miss Justice, and Annette, and September Virgo, and everybody else that didn't comment that's watched tonight. And again, all I ask you guys to please hit the subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up. Make a comment, even if it's nothing other than I'm here. Every interaction helps get my videos out in the YouTube algorithm. Put them on play all and let it play. Maybe I can make enough to get a paycheck from them. But thank you all for giving me your time and coming and sitting to chat. As always, everything's in the description box. how to subscribe to the channel if you'd like to join and be a member, the YouTube, the Instagram, the Teespring with merch that I'm working on, and uh, Facebook, Twitter X, all that, TikTok, everything's in there. Email, if you want to email me, PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, all that, everything's in there that you might want is in the description box, all the videos. So let us know that way. Um, and I'm going to end this by saying, I'm back, bitches. And I'm back better than before. The things I've went through and I'm still here. My God is an awesome God. Oh, thank you for the hearts, whoever's hitting them. I love y'all. Gonna make me cry happy tears. I won't be silenced. I won't be made to shut my mouth. And I am gonna come back and do a live stream in depth about what's going on with some of these unscrupulous mortgage companies and how they're targeting people over the age of 50 or whose loan has been paid down to under 25,000 to try to illegally foreclose, to try to make it impossible for you to pay off. And I know it's true because I've been through it. Imagine 4 mortgage companies, all owned by the same one, playing hot potato and thinking it's funny that they're playing with somebody's life. Literally. I'm not going to give up. If after 3 years I've not given up on summer, 4 years almost now, coming very soon. You think I'm going to give up on my own battle? I'm going to do everything I can to keep anybody else from having to go through what I'm having to go through. And be lied to and played with and stolen from. Because that's what they're doing. You're stealing. When you get paid your payment and you sell the loan twice and say you didn't get your payment and the person got to wait 30 to 45 days to get it credited back to their account, and by then it's a late payment and enough in certain states to foreclose, that's lies and theft. And again, my God don't like ugly, but I'm going to pray for you. And I'm no longer saying the prayer I pray a flower pot falls from windowsill. I'm not talking about that kind of prayer, y'all. I'm serious. I'm talking about a real prayer. And just know that my faith and belief is why I'm still sitting here. Pray for me and my family. The 20th is coming rapidly, and that's the anniversary of us losing my son. I'm also trying to figure out how to do an interview. I have a friend, a very good long-term friend, a mother of 3, all boys. She has a rare brain disorder, and there's not a cure. Obamacare dumped her, as I understand. Drowning in debt. Of course, she's been denied. She's young. Not even turned 40 yet. And in the next 3 years, she might not even remember who her kids are. And I never heard of it until she came to me. And I want to do an interview and let her talk about it and the cures and what's going on and what it entails and how you can recognize, if you're affected. And I am going to put a link to her GoFundMe on my post page. I'm trying to get used to not calling it community page. For anybody that wants to read more about it and do anything they can, it doesn't necessarily mean donating funds. I think that there's like kind of like the March of Dimes walk. There's a thing you can do like that to raise money, some other stuff. Somebody might know somebody that's got it that can help her out because it's so rare. That would be worth more than donating money at this point. Someone that's been where she is to give advice, if that makes sense. Um, if I don't get to the flea market and sell enough stuff, my power will be cut off on the 21st or 22nd, and I don't know where I'll be then, but I'll still be able to go live from my phone and update you guys on the things I'm researching and other new things that are going on. So my end tonight is no matter what, I'm going to try to keep on going, try to keep on smiling, and I'm going to put my trust and faith and love in the Lord above. He's not going to let me fail because he knows where my heart, my spirit is, and I'm secure in that. It's just another test, and I just got to keep ignoring Satan and doing the right thing, and that's where I'm at. So again, hope everybody enjoyed, and it was so good to see you guys again. True Crime, September, Annette, Miss Justice. Thank you guys so much for being here. And everybody else, please hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe. And I will see you next time. And it won't be this long now. Now that they've got everything settled, I'm going to try to at least do 2 lives a week. I'm going to see, depending on how long it takes to edit and upload this video, I think that's the best way to put out all the documents and pictures I have and stuff on the drones to be able to give you guys the full picture and where I got the information and the everything from, including the interview with Scott Roush, who in Tennessee, where he lives, near Emily Baker actually, he was able to get pictures of orbs and drones in the sky. But that's less than 3 miles away from a military facility. I'm just saying. Oh, and by the way, one last thought. I will say thank you to the Trump administration for one thing. Thank you for giving us Fort Bragg back and not Liberty and the All-American Highway and all that. Fort Bragg meant something and does mean something to the people in this area. I worked on post. I got off a Greyhound in Fayetteville on the Lillington Highway. Shout out to Tiger Subs and the Foo Bar and Mr. Paul's Trailer Park. And all the people I met there. And they pushed our job back on post. I was working for a day labor, Trojan labor. Um, you have to go through a lot of security checks and criminal background checks to be able to work on base as a civilian, more so than the officers go through. And they were recruiting us. So I came, our job got pushed back 2 weeks, which meant my stipend, my place to live, and everything was pushed back 2 weeks. I got off the bus, not knowing nobody, in Spring Lake on the Lillington Highway. If you know anything in the area, you know where I'm talking about. Tiger Subs, Food Bar, the bait shop with the trailer park. I was right there. And I had a job and a place in less than 36 hours. It was enough to support me until we started our job, and then, we got everything we was promised. I was just stranded. I stayed in a Jeepers Creepers truck. It was summertime, so I wasn't hot. I mean, I wasn't cold. I was hot. It was 115-degree heat index on the regular, and that paving crew on base. We went through so much water and power and Gatorade, it was pathetic. But I wouldn't give it up and trade it for nothing. The people were wonderful. Randolph County, Lumberton. I'd love to go back and visit Marie and Charles. And I wish our government would recognize the Lumbee. But that's a whole nother topic. Along with MMIW and how it's affected our local man to Cherokee. I ain't given up on talking about that either. It's my heritage. Alright, you guys. Peace, love, and light. See you all in a couple nights. I missed y'all. Peace. It ain't no above, below. It's peace. Hippie style. Alright, y'all. I'm hitting the sign out button or I'll never quit talking. Thank you all for being here, and I missed y'all so much. I look forward to seeing y'all again in a couple days. I will announce the live stream. I'll probably upload a short announcing the new live stream. That seems to be the best way. I think notifications also go out better when it is YouTube Direct. And I'm going to figure out a way to be able to show y'all stuff. I'm going to find a way to do it from my phone. I'm not giving up. Pray this ice storm does not make it over the mountain and get hung over top of us. We do not need that after the 2 snowstorms and the cold spell we've survived. There's so many people that are not going to make it. It's sad. I can't talk much about what's going on here. But I will tell you, our government left us for dead. And y'all can take it however you want to. It's not the first time, and it probably won't be the last that they've deserted us. Y'all spent more on a transgender play in another country, on an episode of Sesame Street in another country, than you did on people from Florida to Ohio. People that are literally freezing to death, and y'all don't care. You want me to think better of Trump and Musk and this whole administration? I gotta see something that I hadn't seen. You're paying $59 million. It just came out today. $59 million for immigrants in New York to have housing. And you're putting North Carolinians, Georgians, South Carolinians, and Tennesseans in the street. That's homes went floating down the road that you won't even let them go back to. that there isn't even a road. You're doing more for people that you don't even know if it's their real name than you are people that were born here. And y'all wonder where the hostilities come from. You're sending more money out of the country. $100,000 on condoms to another country. Then you're giving a family for their home that they've had for 150 years that you won't let them go back to. Tell me how that makes sense. Tell me how that's how the government should be run. Show me how you're going to fix it. Yeah, you went to USAID and you stopped it, whatever. But what are you going to do for the people that's out here with these fires that have home? What are you going to do for the people in the Tennessee mountains, in the North Carolina, and Georgia, and Arkansas, and Ohio, everywhere that was affected by a link? What are you going to do for them? What are you going to do for the ones that are still living in a tent, that their vouchers ran out and they don't have a hotel anymore to stay in, that their county and city won't allow a tiny home or an RV? What are you going to do for them? That's what I'm waiting on. I've seen a lot of stoppage, and I've seen a lot of talk from all these politicians, but action is very minimal when it comes to what are you going to do to help the American citizens out here. I'm not opposed to anybody from another country. I believe in the melting pot philosophy. But I also believe there's a right way and there's rules, and you have to abide by them. So for the lady that said and addressed the citizens of the United States and Congress and everybody else and said, these immigrants are not criminals. They're just people. They're illegal immigrants. So they committed a crime to enter the country the way they did. So yeah, they are. Because the people doing it the right way get a DUI, get a speeding ticket, get a jaywalking ticket. They got to wait another 5 years to be able to take their citizenship test. They spent 20 plus years not able to see their mom, their dad, or their sister because they can't leave this country until they've jumped through all the hoops and bells and whistles. Now, is that right? I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I don't know. I don't know on that. Maybe the process should be a little simpler and a little easier because they have to know more than we know as a citizen. But to say that somebody knows that what they're doing is illegal from beginning to end, you're paying somebody to smuggle you in a container on a ship or in the back of a semi, or like the border guard that got arrested that's smuggling people in and making money off of it. You're committing an illegal act. You're committing a crime. You are a criminal. That is the definition of criminal. One who commits a crime. Hello. You can't say they're not a criminal. It's a crime. And for those people properly taking the proper steps, there's no differentiation on the crimes. I'm just saying it should be the same for everybody. And I don't, it doesn't matter where you're from. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Be from Switzerland, Sweden, Afghanistan, Iraq, Istanbul, Mexico, Argentina. I don't care. Canada. I don't care. Sorry, Miss Justice. That part doesn't matter.
Tell me when to go. Tell me.
You shouldn't. Our government shouldn't be making a difference. I couldn't see. Something said, I wonder why someone would flee from horror. Not sure what you mean by that. That's different. If you're coming in saying that your life is being threatened, you are being whatever because of your religious preference and all that, that's different. That's different. You're coming in asking for asylum. That's different. That's not what I'm talking about. You cannot, though, as a politician, as someone that represents the people, sit here and say this person is not a criminal. This crime don't count and this crime does. But the people that's coming legally and doing the proper legal steps can't get their citizenship if they do the same crime or a similar one. It needs to be equal across. And I don't know that we can ever get that. Please understand. Utopia is a dream. I get it. You got that right, Miss Justice. Say it again. And for those in the back, I can't see that. Shoot, I wish Canada would take me. I'd be there yesterday. Imagine that over 46% of the world's news media was being controlled or funded through U.S. dollars, U.S. taxpayer dollars. Understand that. When everybody's talking about this and that and the third, the monies that's being spent is our tax dollars that we're out here earning and paying. Every time I buy a loaf of bread, I pay taxes. And it's different depending on where I'm at, county to county and state to state. I pay 8 cents on every dollar I spend, plus 24 cents on every dollar I earn. And that don't include the end of the year taxes that you got to pay. You got that right. Say that again, something. I agree with you on that. They got papers. You got that right. I agree with you. I feel like my tax dollars should make sure that the people that are already here, that were born here, that are citizens, and that are legally becoming citizens, are taken care of before we fund Sesame Street program in another country. Before we fund an opera, I don't care what it's about. I don't care if it's an opera telling you how to speak English. I don't care if it's an opera telling you how to count from 1 to 10 or tie your shoes. I don't give a, the content is not relevant. How can you send a million or hundreds of million or thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to fund a class, a play, a TV show, 100,000 condoms? How can you do that when you have people that are literally freezing to death because of a natural disaster? Or that are burning up and watching everything in their home burnt to a crisp and nothing but shreds? How can you justify that? How can those people in power justify doing that? That's what I'm talking about. You can do both if you're not shoving part of the money in your pockets. I think what's gone on in the past week and what's come out documented proof that I don't believe, just like the battery charging stations that were supposed to have been built, $49 billion. There are 4 charging stations built. There's 73 in progress. And the money's still there, unused. at 2 years. That's what I'm talking about. It's the waste. It's that $300 hammer. It's that $75 nut and bolt. Come on. Who's benefiting? Who's benefiting from the PACs and the lobbyists for big pharma and other companies and corporations that are swaying our representatives? We don't have a wellness program here. We have a program where you go and get something for your allergies and it makes your ice run. You go and take something for a cough and it makes your ears bleed. So you have to take another medicine. We don't have, how many years they've been searching for a cure for this, that, and the other, and we ain't got it? Because it doesn't behoove them to get a cure. If you're cured, you don't need to come back to the doctor. If you're cured, you don't need another prescription. Then their money's gone. Look at the rates of cancer now as opposed to before. Tell me why my bread don't mold anymore. How about that? Take a loaf of bread, save 3 pieces out of it, lay it out. Look at it 2 months later. It ain't even got white spots on it. You mash it and fold it, and it comes back like a sponge. That can't be good for us. That can't be natural. And I'm not saying you can't do both. Something you can. What I'm saying is, before you send $143 trillion to do stuff outside of this country, how about making sure that your people ain't freezing to death and your solution isn't to take their kids from them and them get lost in the system? What about it's over 300 million illegal immigrants' children missing. They found 316,000. How is that possible? Why are more people not worried and upset about that? What about all the children that have come out in the past 5 years that are old enough to tell how they were in foster care, they were in the system, and their worker knew what was going on? Please don't think it don't happen here. I know for a fact that 2 grandparents took off and the worker had no idea where them and the kids was. Mama was locked up and daddy's not around. Took off. Couldn't find them. 2 years later, they found them in another state. 2 years. And that was because of a system kind of like NCIC. My thing is, before you start doing things outside of this country, get it right here. People used to want to be here. Now they're here because it's better than what they got. They think. You know, it happened back in England, Queen Victoria's Day. You know, they're feeding France. They're eating out on the hog and having parties while their people are literally starving to death and living in filth in the streets. And it caused a revolt. Literally. My thing is, I'm not saying don't help France. I'm saying before you send money to France, feed your own people. Amen. Something. My real talk though, they give it on a smaller scale. Are you going to feed your neighbor and her kids before you feed your own? Because that's what we're doing. It's what we're doing right now. I'm not saying don't help nobody. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm not saying humanitarian aid is bad. At all. Genocide and atrocities are horrible, and we should take a stand against them and do any and everything we can to stop it. But pay your light bill and water bill and feed your family first. Because nobody else is going to. What other country, by the way, was in line and offering us assistance besides Canada? Canada's in linemen here to help us repair and live. But after these wildfires and the two hurricanes that ravaged the East Coast, what country offered us help? I'm just saying, since, because I can't recall any other than Canada. I'll wait. You might not have certain resources, but if you got a palace and you got people that's living on dog and they can fly all around the world for these meetings, you could have flew some army folks here to help rebuild a road. Hold the ladder for the linemen. Something. Who offered? I can't. I agree with you something. We're on the same page. We are on the same page. The fact that somebody that, let's say Jeff Bezos, for instance, pays less in yearly taxes than I do is a damn shame. Period. Those are the things that I'm talking about until I see a change. All of the politicians is crooked and worried about lining their pockets. All of them. How many of them do you think have profited illegally off of U.S. aid? I'm just saying. Because let me tell you, Haiti's saying they didn't get all the money they was sent. Ukraine is saying they ain't got all that money. Jordan is saying all these monies that we've been sending, these 140 billion, they got 30. Where's the other 110 billion? Honey, I think we in for about 10 more years if you really want to know the truth, Miss Justice. Because I don't think anything's going to change until we all stand up and say we're tired of the shit and we're not going to take it anymore. Americans have, a lot of us have become complacent. And with complacency comes acceptance. And this generation after me, they didn't know how to cook when a link came through. I could have my oven rack and my paving stones and my wood I collected, and I could have been charging people to cook. You would have been shocked. What do you mean you had coffee every day? Shoot, I had some instant coffee and I boiled water. I don't know what y'all talking about. I worry for the generation after me every day. I pray for them every day. And I agree 1,000,000% with you something. I do on the tariff thing. It's a reverse of NAFTA if people don't realize it. Trying to make companies manufacture rather than buy abroad. What are we going to do and how are we going to survive if there was a third world war? The stuff, the main metal that makes most of our planes, our tanks, your bulletproof vest, that main metal, we get it from China exclusively. We do not have one area that manufactures or mines it in the United States. Not because we don't got it, but because we would rather pay China. By the way, even by increasing most of the tariffs by 25 to 50%, we're still not taxing them as much as they're taxing us. Great 100% tax. And I'm sorry, Miss Just, don't get mad at me, but we pay a tariff to Canada, a tax, tariff, whatever you want to call it, that's most of them are double or quadruple what we charge them. Trying to see what something said. I know that's right, something. I just said already. Listen, since 2018, I've been trying to get there. I think maybe I can find me a 90-day fiance in Canada. You think they'd let me in? No, it's not too cold. I just can't speak French, so I can't go to French Canadian. I have to be near Niagara Falls, I reckon. I can handle the cold better than the heat anyway. You can put on extra clothes, you can only take off so much. Probably so. And that's another reason. I mean, if they were, if it was people that are truly being persecuted and lives are in danger, should have a barrier to safety and to help. But over 3 million and some figures as much as 39 million within the past 4 years, I can't believe all of those were persecuted. I heard that. Don't tempt me. I get my camper, I'll be able to drive there, and I'm not giving up my dream. It's an achievable dream. All right, you guys. Peace, love, and light. My Canadian, Scottish, Australian, Hispanic. I don't care where you're from. I love you all. Because we're all people. We all bleed red at the end of the day. Peace, love, and light. See y'all on a couple nights. We'll hit the button now.